to do I go to Spacewalkers 5 or the 100 Con in Brussels? It's hard to choose. I mean, hi, look who's here! Yay! Where were you? Uh.
Hi.
When I saw that hi, I almost cried. I was like, yay! She didn't give up on us. How are you?
I'm good. How are
Look at
you?
you! You're so beautiful.
Look at you. Where are you?
In my room.
Let's see your house.
Let's
I've never been to your home.
In 5 years.
In 5 years, Donya. You're not even a real friend.
Oh, whatever. How are you? You good?
I'm good. It's been kind of crazy, but
I bet.
it's pretty good. You know, but it is just so. It's crazy when I don't think about everything. It's good. You know what I mean? But if I'm like, I go into everything that's going on, I'm like, oh God. So I'm just trying to like stay busy and rest and kind of not think about it.
Yeah,
Like
that's the thing.
I don't even know. It's like April something. I don't even know what date. It's supposed to be Spacewalkers. I can't even believe it.
I know.
Like,
yeah, it's kind of hard for everyone. I was saying that, like, thank you guys, even if like you're home, but I know you can be busy and all. So thank you for doing this, especially today. Like I know it's sad for everyone.
Honestly, I was looking forward to it. I think I like woke up the earliest today. I came an hour early.
I know.
And I was like, oh, it's not me. Okay.
It's that.
And then I kind of wanted to watch you and such and stuff.
And Lee's right after you, and he was like the first year, and he was like, "Hi, Donya." I said, "No, it's not your turn. Come back in 1 hour."
Everyone's like, "We're ready." Oh, tell Lee I said hi. I love him.
Well,
He's the
probably
best.
around.
Yeah. Lee, are you in there?
All right.
What's going on?
How's Sean? I have to ask, obviously.
Baby, say hi.
Hi.
Hey, Donya.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How about you?
I'm great, but I need some cooking advices, so we'll talk later.
Okay.
Oh man, he's the chef. I'm like,
well, he cooked for us, remember?
The best and worst thing to be quarantined because I'm fat now. None of my clothes fit.
Yeah, baby, but you're fat with me.
My ass.
Yeah, no, I know that he's a chef because he cooked for us last time.
That's right. You made that paella. I mean, we both made it.
Yes. Okay, so let's start answering some questions. Okay.
Wait, what's going on in Paris? Like, how is Paris handling it? Can you?
So Paris, if you want to go out, you have to file a paper to explain where you're going.
Whoa!
It's crazy. What? Yes. Mm-hmm. If it's if you wanna like just I don't know do some sport or anything.
Go for a run.
For a run, you have to stay in your not even your neighborhood. It's like you can't go after 1 kilometer.
What?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Wow.
If you have to go to like grocery shopping or stuff, you have to file the paper.
Yeah.
And you can't be out for more than 1 hour.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
That's serious lockdown.
And you get fined if you don't have the paper.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
But we had more than 13,000 people who actually died. Yeah, and still going up. So I think it's kind of important. yeah, it's the best thing to do.
Yeah. Yes, Sean. Sean wants to end this conversation. Yes, baby. What? Yeah, but the States are so much bigger than France. Like France is so small, and to have that number, like that's scary.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
How about
crazy.
Canada? Do you know?
Well, Canada's not that bad. I mean, I actually ended up staying in instead of like it was so crazy at the end of it all. We wrapped and it was like everything was shutting down and we were like, no, let us keep shooting.
Oh.
So we got as much as we could because so many shows what happening is they stop production and they're like in the middle of an episode or their finale or they have like 2 episodes left or an episode left and now they may not finish it. Like they may like just come back for the
True.
next season and not do like the end of that season, which I was like, that's so crazy. But it's like our finale, so it's like, you know, we're not coming back. So we were like desperate to try to finish it. So we're finishing it, and then all the stuff was happening, and they were talking about, you know, and since I'm not Canadian, I have to go back to LA. But then but I
Yes.
have an apartment here and like my car here, and so it's like, well, I gotta pack up my entire apartment and then like drive across country or ship it to someone somehow before the border closes because they were threatening that they were going
Yeah,
to close the
that's the
border.
thing. It's insane. Like my brother who lives in Dubai is
Mhm.
stuck in New York. Like he can't go back.
What?
Yeah.
New York. My stepsister got stuck in Peru. She said that was
Okay.
so crazy. They
Wow.
had to hire a private pilot to get back to
No
the
way.
States. Yeah. It was so expensive, but also like so scary because
Yeah,
they
you don't
were
want to
like,
be in Peru during
no, they're
this.
just like stuck in a hotel. And the hotel was like, we want you to leave. It's like, oh God, what do you do? It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
so
mean,
yeah, so I ended up staying in Canada because it was too crazy. And Sean has a Canadian citizen too. And so he drove up from LA. And also in the entire country of Canada, it's less people than in the state of California. So
oh
I was
wow.
like, just that alone, statistically, I feel like it's going to be safer just because there's less people. Um, and, you know, I just felt like I have like my home base here and everything. And I don't have to like stress out and worry and pack and, you know, be all crazy. And then literally Sean got here because he left like immediately. And then maybe 2 days later, they shut the borders.
Oh wait, you're in
Not even
Canada.
like a day. Yeah, I'm in Canada. I didn't go back to LA.
Oh, I really thought you guys were in LA right now. Okay.
No, I didn't go because if I had gone, I wouldn't have been able to like pack up my apartment or get my
Yeah.
car. I would have to like fly back, which I didn't want to fly back, or drive back, which is also not the safest. So it was so crazy. So I was like, I'm just gonna stay and see what happens
Yeah.
because Jared is still shooting Supernatural, right? So
Yes.
I think they still have an episode or two left. So I'm like, they're I believe the CW's they're definitely gonna finish Supernatural because like they're in their
It's the
finale.
last season. Yeah.
Yeah, but like there's so many. I think if you're not in your finale, they may not finish it. You know what I mean? So I was like, well, can't do the other show without him. So I think I'm safe here until he comes and finishes and then goes down to Texas and then I can go.
Yeah.
But so we're up here and it's been good. I mean, it's like nothing too crazy yet. We're all like in obviously isolating at home, and they like close the parks or whatnot. But me and Bethany, I don't know if she's here. I saw she was here. Me, Bethany, and Tasia actually went on a hike on like the first day of quarantine before we knew it was like self-isolation quarantine. So by accident, we became the last people that we interacted with. So they're like my quarantine. So I'm only allowed to see
That's
them
cute.
and Sean, you know? So we've been trying to do like hikes a couple times a week, and they just now shut down the parking lot. So we can't park, so we have to which kind of sucks. So we have to like drive, like park out far and then walk. But the nice thing is that it's huge forests everywhere. So, you know, you see like maybe 10 people over, or like 15 people over like a 6 mile loop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you know basically that you're safe.
Super safe. And also you're outside in the UV sunlight and everything. But I feel for so many people who don't have like access to that, or like to get to go outside as much. So I was like, man, the days I don't go outside, I think when I get a little crazy.
Well, can you imagine? Like, I'm lucky I have a yard at home.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
was in London for a month and a half. I didn't have a yard.
Yeah.
I think I was a bit crazy. So I had to go home.
Yeah.
We still have the Eurostar going from London to Paris.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. So how about your restaurants and stuff?
They're all closed. They're doing like a takeout and delivery kind of thing, but Sean and I, you know, I mean, I don't want to judge anyone. Like, do whatever you want, or like what do you feel is right. And obviously, like, I think you want to support your local restaurants and local businesses. But Sean and I were like, well, you know, it's food and we don't know who's preparing it, so we just felt like it's safer if we just prepared ourselves. But with that said, it is so crazy cooking every meal for a month. But he's like a chef, so he's fine. It blows my mind. I'm like, man,
Show off,
so
whatever.
Well, he's just really great at it. I'm like,
no, yeah. We can see that on your post,
I know,
madam.
that wasn't even like half of it. I barely started posting everything because it's almost like it's ridiculous.
And knowing you work out a lot.
Well, I actually hurt my knee. And this is why I could only walk. It was terrible. Like, I hurt my knee. I had like tendonitis in my knee like a week before quarantine started. So I couldn't put any weight on it. So I couldn't run, I couldn't jump, I couldn't like really do any like weights or anything. And it was like 3 weeks of it hurting. And so I slowly could do stuff. So I also think that's also why I was getting a little like crazy, like, because I couldn't find like my normal places of happiness, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, I can't do this thing I usually do, and so now I'm not as happy as I was. And so I have had to find, I was just telling Sean last night, I was like, this quarantine has really made me change the way I live my life, because I really do like go outside a lot, or like see my friends, or I'm around a lot of people, or like have external sources of happiness. And I'm like, oh, this is such an interesting time for me to figure out how to be happy and fulfilled with, you know, the bare minimum. And so it sucked, but then it was also like a weird blessing, because I got to start hiking with Bethany and Tasia and like walking and just enjoying nature instead of like, I'm gonna do a crazy run, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So it was really nice, actually. So yeah, but now that my knee's better, I have been doing like home workouts. I got a Peloton.
You have what?
Do you know what a Peloton is?
No.
Oh, what? Okay, let me show you. It's pretty dope. This thing. Here, look. You turn it on. You can just see. Sean made my profile. I'm gonna tell you what the name is. But look, it's like you can pick. It's like cycling. Oh wait, I'm gonna show you. Like cycling classes. Like you pick a class, and you can also do it live. But
hi, I'm Robin. Welcome to this.
Look at this. It's crazy.
This is amazing.
No pressure. Oh my.
It's so cute.
That is exactly the energy.
It's like so cute.
To this ride and give to each other. Cadence,
So-
that's your leg speed. That's how
Amazing.
quickly your shoulders and legs are moving.
Okay, we're doing it. We're taking it.
Okay.
But so it's actually really fun, and it's so hard. Like, I'm dying. I'm like cursing and sweating and dying. And even made Sean do it, and he was like, fuck this shit. This is horrible. But it was also really fun.
It was easy.
Whatever. You couldn't walk. Sean got off it. He's like, I feel high.
The thing is, I was thinking about you the other day, and I was like, oh wait, sorry, was he talking? I didn't hear.
Don't listen to him.
Okay.
Crap.
Okay, Sean, keep cooking, and she'll work out for the both of you. It's fine.
Literally.
Like, I was wondering, after the 100, you were supposed to go and start Walker, like,
Yeah.
right away. And I was like, okay, it's actually good for her. Like, you needed a break after 7 years.
Yeah. But I didn't think I did. I was like, yeah, like a week or whatever, it's fine. But I literally, I haven't felt like the need or like the drive to like work and like do like work probably until like last week. So like I was good for like a month just sleeping and watching TV and just, you know, not thinking about work. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. Like I didn't think I needed a break, but really I probably did. So it was weirdly, you know, a weird silver lining and all the crazy and like scary stuff of all this is happening. It was a silver lining just for my position, you know? Yeah. But I mean, you know,
Obviously.
but it's also been interesting too, because it's given me like now I've been working on it and everything, and it's giving me a lot of time to really kind of like play with my character and what direction I want to like craft her in. So I'm really glad that I'm getting to put in this time now, because now I'm probably more excited now that I've been working on it than before when I was like, okay, we're gonna shoot, and now I'm like, oh, now I'm really excited about what we're gonna do.
Yeah. Okay. We'll start answering some questions.
Okay.
How about to do? Okay, this one. What's your favorite French food?
Ooh, I love okay, I love so many. Tartare, macaroons, and then I like escargot.
Yeah.
They're good. They're good.
Yes, they're good. I think I cheat with escargot because now I only eat fish, but I still eat escargot.
Oh.
I shouldn't.
That counts.
I mean,
that's like
yeah.
the same category.
When off the top. Okay, your favorite characters on the 100.
Ooh, that's so hard. We've had so many good characters. That's a really tough one. I mean, I've liked so many of them. I really like Dio's is my favorite one now.
Oh wow, she's such a badass.
I know but she's funny. She's so funny. So I love Dioza right now. I've always loved Jaha because I thought he was just crazy. You never knew if he was a bad guy or good guy. So I liked him. I loved Jasper actually, and I loved Jasper's ending. And I feel like I know it was sad, but I feel like people don't really talk about it as much. And it was kind of, and like in the world too, I guess I just like that he always represented a different, like, because everyone is so like strong and tough and like, you know, somehow we make it through everything. But, you know, Jasper, he struggled. And I appreciated that we got to see a character struggle, because I think that's very human. So, and he would laugh through it, but he looked at the world through a different lens than a lot of the other characters did. So I liked that he was unique in that way. And then I love Luna because she's cool. Lexa's because she's cool. Like we had so many cool characters.
True.
But Hope is really cool. You guys are gonna get to know Hope. I really enjoyed working with Shelby. I think she's so talented. And we have some really new characters. One character in particular I can't tell you about. Who's amazing.
Obviously.
Obviously.
All right.
I'll give you that. He was my
Yes.
favorite of the new
Oh,
season.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So someone asked a very interesting question, but like some people ask 100 times the same question. That's not really fair, guys. Like,
What
please
is
don't
your
do it.
favorite French food?
No, it was a good question. Oh, how was it directing an episode this season?
That was crazy. That was really, really rewarding. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done, but also one of the most rewarding things I've ever done because I didn't think I could do it. You know what I mean? Like I had been shadowing the directors for the last 3 years, so I had been interested in it, but I was always like, oh, I don't know enough. Like, no, like I'm just gonna watch or I'm just gonna learn. I'm not ready. You know, I kept saying I'm not ready all the time. And then what had basically happened is we had a different director, Eliza, everyone kind of knows now, Eliza, who's going to direct. And then she got pregnant and decided to pull out, no pun intended, pull out, just because she wanted, you know, not have any stress on the baby or anything. And so it was this kind of really interesting moment for me because it was all of a sudden there was a vacancy and, you know, someone I worked with forever. So I was like, oh, I would love to take, if I could, you know, campaign to take her position because she's pulling out for such a joyous reason too. Like it was like a happy moment for us all. And then when they gave it to me, it felt very like celebratory, like, oh, like, you know, you're pregnant and it's gonna be amazing. And then Lindsey gets to direct and it's gonna be amazing. And then when you know, she found out she miscarried, that was really tragic. And
Yep.
you know, I felt, you know, I was trying to find a way in the sense of like I asked if we could co-direct or something, but the union wouldn't let us by the time everything happened. So, you know, despite that new shade that kind of got put on to the experience with her, besides that, it was really rewarding for me in the sense of I learned so much about myself. And I learned like, okay, I got put into this position the last second and I didn't think I was ready for years. I still don't think I'm ready. But it kind of is just here. And I felt like I had to go for it with everything I had. So I tried my best and I learned so much so quickly. And it was just wild. It was like, I was at my grandmother's funeral in Texas and they called me and they said, we're going to let you do it. And I was like, oh my God. And I flew immediately to Vancouver, back to set. And they wanted me to assist, or it's called shadowing one of our other directors again for the process. And it was like, which is like basically like a job. Like you're there in the office and with them on set all day, like an 8 to 6 scenario. And then I would go home and do like my homework. And then I also was shooting the episode too, like in it. Yeah. And then it was like, I had to go get my certification from the DGA, like the union, the Directors Guild. So I literally I assisted one morning, then I went to hair and makeup, then I shot till 2 a.m. Then they drove me to Seattle to catch a 5 a.m. flight to go to LA, to go to the DGA, wow, to get my certification for it's the last day of the year. And if I didn't get it, I wouldn't be able to direct, and my visa, because I'm in Canada too. So I had to get all that, do that, fly back, wow, go through customs, get all this stuff, and then be back on set by like 8 a.m. on like Monday. And it was wild, but so, it was like,
does that mean that now that you have that certificate, you can redo it? Like, is it
Yeah,
easier for you?
I can. Yeah, like now I can apply for other directing jobs, and the great thing is that now I have this episode to kind of show like my first body of work, and so it will help me, like, now that I'm in the union, I can apply for other jobs, and also it just like it's like you just legally have to do it too. So
Yeah.
so it's cool. Like it was very like I was very lucky to get like that leg up and that help, because it's hard to, you know, get into the union. And so this is the kind of like when you really want something, you know, it reminds you like you'll do anything for it. You know what I mean? So that's what it
Definitely.
kind of felt like. And it felt like I really just wanted to, I don't know, I just learned so much about like how I would direct, and if I was an actor, what I'd want my director to be like, and also just how to, it's a new art form for me, you know what I mean? How to use the camera to tell the story. I could handle the acting and the scenes and everything, and that part was great. But when it came to the camera work, that's where I really was like, okay, I want to like, how am I going to make the most compelling story that's through this instrument? So it was very interesting, but it was really, like I said, it's really, really rewarding and hard. I definitely like, I think I had like a good cry every couple of days
Well,
because I
I
was like,
bet,
well,
because
I'm
you
gonna
were
do
also
this.
shooting, like you
Oh
were
yeah,
also
yeah.
like
But
on the show. It's insane. It's crazy. Well, congratulations. We can't
thank
wait to
you.
watch it.
I mean, you know, it's gonna be interesting because it's like we get our director's cut, and then it's out of our hands. You know what I mean? So I don't even know what's gonna be left for what people see. You know what I mean? Because the studio and network and Jason and everyone can recut it, and they usually do for, you know, if they want to change anything like the story, or, you know, we've had episodes where like they've taken out scenes and put them in other episodes because it
Oh,
just,
okay.
they had to. So I don't know what you guys will see, but I'm excited.
Someone asked, what was the most important thing for you, while representing a disabled character?
Oh, the most important thing for me was bringing justice to it, you know, and I think we really got to explore that that world, and I'm not of that world, and it gave me so much empathy for people who do have disabilities, because, you know, it's hard. It's so hard. And even though I'm just acting and portraying and trying my best to bring honesty and truth to that person's life, the more I delved into it, the more I was just really awe-inspired by what people who do have disabilities go through every day, that people who like me, we take for granted. Like, I take for granted I don't wake up every day in pain. I take it for granted that I can, you know, run whenever I want to. Or even when I was Raven, it was like there'd be scenes where it's dangerous and people are shooting at us and I can't run. That's terrifying. That's terrifying.
Sure.
So, you know, it just gave me so much more empathy because I meet so many uh, people of the disabled community at conventions, and, you know, they're the happiest, they have the, you know, the sweetest, the most loving, like, and even that, it's like no matter what you go through, it doesn't define you. So that was another thing about Raven. It's like, yes, she had this disability, but, you know, she never let that stop her from helping her friends and uh, persevering and finding a solution. So I really just wanted to bring as much truth to that as I could. The only thing is that, you know, over the course of the years, is the story changes. You know what I mean? Like, we really gotta explore it a lot in the beginning, but
Yeah.
it was tough because, you know, I feel like the story would change and Raven would be doing something else, into where it wasn't a story plot as true as it was that like, oh, I have to be slow or I have to be behind. So, you know, I feel like in the end, it wasn't as truthful as it was in the beginning. And, you know, I feel like we never got a chance to explain like, or check in to be like, oh, it's a little bit better now. Or, oh, you know what I mean? Like time helped heal, you know what I mean? Or also it started creating imbalances in my body too. So as crazy as that is. So even I was, which I think is very which is like, wow, I felt similar feelings that people felt as like, oh my God, like I was resistant at times, which I'm like, man, I wish I was, you know, because it is such an interesting part of her character and her persona, but it is such a real and difficult, you know, thing she has to live with. It's hard. It's really hard. So.
Okay. What happened with my screen? Okay. Did you take anything from set as a memento?
You want to see?
Yes.
Okay, one second. Let me get it. Okay, wait. Here. I have my chair thing.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then I got this baby.
No way. You get the jacket.
This is my first season 1 jacket, which I remind you was like a child's jacket. Like it's cropped on me because it's meant for like a 9-year-old. But a lot of people don't know this unless you cosplayed it. This is the real jacket. Looks like this.
Okay.
They turned it inside out, but they had to cut into it because I was like, guys, this jacket's too small. I can't move my arms. So they had to cut into it. So I took this guy.
Maybe Lola was meant to play Raven.
Who?
Lola?
Basically. It was like Lola's clothes. And I was like, this isn't gonna work. And then I got this baby. Look at that.
No way. You kept it.
Yeah.
Aww.
6 years.
That's cool.
It was so funny because this last year was the first year the brace actually started to break. So they actually had to make new replicas of it. But I would like interchange. I would wear this one and then, because it's also breaking. If it would break, like when the pieces break off, then I switched the newer one, but then that one would also break. So I just kept switching. But it's crazy that this lasted 6 years before they needed to really refurbish it. So, battle worn. And then I took this. Oh, wait, no, we can't show you that. Almost spoiled something. So, yeah, those are my mementos. I really wanted her necklace, but I think it's been so long. I don't know where, like, they don't have it anymore. I think I don't know. They don't have it.
Who knows?
But in my jacket and my braids.
Do you speak Spanish?
Un poquito.
Un poquito.
Un poquito. I need to learn. I am a disgrace. Someone just wrote here Sky Crew or Tree Crew, and I thought it said Teeth Crew, and I was like, ooh, Teeth Crew. Sound bitches.
I can't find the question, but someone asked, how did you get into acting?
Oh man. By pure accident. Yeah, I always enjoyed it. I always like to watch it, but I'm like a 50% introvert and 50% extrovert, so I was actually quite shy at times, and I definitely had stage fright, like when I was a kid or whatnot. So I was part of like the theater drama department in my high school and like my middle school, but I wasn't ever like the star, you know, like I played like us, like, you know, what did I play? We did like Little Shop of Horrors and I was like hobo number 2. Like I played like the little bit roles, but I painted the sets. And so I was always making the sets because I'd like to paint and I like to draw. And I just like to be around the theater and actors. And so when I was going to college, I was thinking I was going to major in political science and like maybe broadcast journalism or journalism because I did debate, but then I also did newspaper. But then I also, I was doing a play and I had another small part in it. And I remember like doing my stage makeup for it and just kind of having an epiphany that I was like, man, if I did this every day, I'd be happy. And, you know, that just really stuck with me. And so I decided to double major in drop journalism and double major in theater when I went to school. And then when I went to college, one of my good friends started working for an agent, like an agency. And one of my professors like pulled me aside and was like, you should consider film. And I didn't know if that was because I was a bad theater actor. But I was like, okay, why not? And so it was just like a random event. And so I remember asking my friend, like, you know, could I get an agent or whatever? And she's like, yeah, come in and she'll meet you. And then like, so she signed me and then she started sending me on auditions and then I started getting them. And it was like pure accident. Like it just was ridiculous. And I remember I got an audition for Friday Night Lights and it was their last season. And it was for this new role called, her name was Epic in the last season. I don't know if you saw it. I didn't see it. But I ended up getting to like the final 2 and it being like between me and a girl from LA. And like I had met like Peter Berg, who was like the creator of it and all these things. And they kind of were like, what's your experience? And I'm like, well, I'm hobo number 2 in high school. Nothing. I did this cell phone commercial. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have any credits.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I went to like, oh, maybe I could do this. And then so I went to LA and like I interned with this acting company and then I decided to stay. I dropped out of college and told my mom I wasn't going back and she didn't like that. But I had a full ride. I had full like scholarship for college. So I felt like, you know, if my parents were paying for my school, then I would have stayed. But since I was kind of paying for my school, it was my decision. And I just felt like this is what I want to do. And it kind of shocked everybody because they're like, I thought you were going to politics, like you're so into debate. And I was like, and I loved it, but it was such a angry place at times.
Yeah.
You know, everyone was wanting to fight all the time. And I was like, I just want to be happy. And I felt like because I was shy and I had stage fright or, you know, acting made me be a better person because it made me like confront my insecurities and it made me try to be like, it made me be better and it made me be like, okay, what's important in this world and like connection and human interaction and love and that I think you get to express that in acting. Like that art form expresses that. Where politics, I was like, you know, I thought maybe I'd be a social worker. But the thing is like this with the system, it's so sad is you don't get to do as much good as you want, you know? It's so many like red tape or things holding you back. And it was like acting was a place where it's like it makes people happy, you know? Or it moves them. So it felt like that's what I wanted to do. It was really weird. I don't know. I was 18. That's what I thought. And I'm stuck
I
with
mean,
it.
yeah. And today you're here doing,
Yeah, but I still, you know,
yeah.
I've been thinking, I guess throughout this quarantine, I've been thinking a lot about my younger self and like, you know, why I did what I did or where I am now. And it brings me back to those thoughts in the sense of like, you know, we all are here right now in this, and we're pushing pause for a second. How did we get here? And looking at those experiences, and then, you know, I'm proud of my younger self to be like, hey, actually, I want to be part of a positive thing, and I want to better myself somehow. And I have these insecurities, and I want to conquer them. So, you know, it's a weird reason, but it's what it worked for me.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I wasn't good at it, basically. Like it was not good in the beginning, and I had to work my ass off to even become okay at acting. So if I can do it, you can do it.
Oh, one last question. So let's make sure it's a good one. There is one I actually liked. Oh, I can't find it, but it was something like, what's the craziest thing you had to do as an actress?
I don't know, seasons 1 through 6, 1 through 7. Oh, come on! We did some I guess the craziest thing, I feel like I say this one, is in season 4 when Raven had to kill herself and then restart herself because that's because of the way and Ian Cusick was shooting it. The way he wanted to shoot it was basically continuous. So what I had to do was like start in the tank and like basically say goodbye to Sinclair and like pretend to freeze in these plastic ice cubes that aren't cold. And weirdly, pretending to freeze is really hard because you're just like while you're talking. So like pretend to freeze, say my like while I'm crying, say goodbye, then put my scuba mask on without messing up my hair, and then like dive. That's the thing. They'll call cut, and you have to do it all over again. So I was like, okay, don't mess it up.
Yeah.
Do it. Then you have to go under the water, and then I have to like tremble until I die underwater. And then I die, and I have to wait until the timer goes off because the timer is what shocks my heart, right? So I have to wait and die, and then I know, wait for the timer. So I'm listening for like a thing outside the tank. By the way, the camera guy's in the tank with me. Like we're in this bathtub.
Perfect.
Perfect. So I'm in here, wait for it, like it dings. I die, so I have to like wake up, and I have to like rush to the top and take off my mask and try to breathe. But I then have my heart attack, right? So I'm like, no, I can't breathe. So I have to act like I have a heart attack. But also, when you take off scuba masks, the oxygen's still spraying. So I take off the mask, and if I got it anywhere near the water, it would just spray my face or the camera. So there's so many outtakes of me being like, like being attacked by it. So I have to take it off without it spraying, and then have my heart attack. Then I have to go over to the ledge, throw myself over the ledge of the tank, land, and then crawl on the ground. I don't have my brace on, so I can't use my leg. So I'm crawling and pulling my body on the ground. We have another camera following me. And then the other guy was like falling from the back or whatever. Crawl, and then I have to get to the edge of like, or like I get to like this edge thing, and then I'm at this counter, and we have this defibrillator that's like not very big.
I love that you're actually redoing the scene.
Because it was crazy. I was like, you guys are so like, are you kidding me? I had to grab this like defibrillator, like as I'm like here, pull it down, and then it had two little like wires that had stickers that were like this big. I had to place it on the correct part of my body. Otherwise they're like, cut, it's not real. You can't restart your heart that way. By the way, there's stickers. By the way, I'm wet. I'm like, nothing sticks. So I'm like, And then I have to push the button, shock my heart, and I have to shock and die a little again. Then I have to wake up again, realize I'm awake and alive, and then go to the walkie-talkie somewhere behind me and make the call. That was
okay. Well, no, honestly, yeah, it was a hard scene for you to shoot, but it was also a hard scene for everyone to watch. So you did an amazing job.
Thank you, Donia. It's one of my favorite scenes because it is such a journey. But the way we shot it, we basically shot it as it all unrolled, which maybe, you know, it helps because I was in it all, but also it was a lot of choreography, you know what I mean? So that was what was hard. And if you messed up, you had to do the whole thing again. So you kind of got exhausted.
Do you remember how long was it for you to shoot that scene?
We had like 6 hours for that sequence, but we did, I mean, I was in all day. Yeah, I think it was 6 hours for that sequence, and then the other 6 hours, because you basically have a 12-hour day. That was with Sinclair and Erica saying like goodbye and,
yeah,
you know, get out of my brain, Allie. So I guess 6 hours, yeah. But we could have had more time. Like, we could have used more time to do it. But it was pretty funny.
Okay.
I miss you.
You have no idea. You have no idea. Like, I mean, I talk to Sachin every day, so I don't really miss him. Like,
I mean, every day.
I don't. And then there's you. Like, we text sometimes, and I'm like, oh, how do you miss her?
We should FaceTime.
We should.
Don't just get me on your lives.
You're too busy cooking.
We are cooking a lot. I'm eating. He's cooking.
He's cooking. You're eating.
I clean.
Okay. First time after all this shit. Oh no, you'll be shooting your new show.
Well, what? When?
In Texas.
In Texas.
I'll go and visit you.
Come visit.
How hot is Texas?
It's hot, but you'll like it. Bring Jared. Jared loves Texas.
True that.
Sachin is upset.
How dare you? I'm not talking to you tomorrow until the night. I do miss you, Sachin. Oh my god. Anyway, yes, thank you so much for doing this.
Of course.
And let's talk soon. Actually, you're right.
Yeah.
I do miss you.
I'm at home. I'm home.
You know what? Same.
Amazing. We'll pencil it in. Thank you to everyone that was watching too. I'm sorry we couldn't, you know, be in person, but
exactly.
You know, hopefully next year. And everyone stay safe, be healthy, wear your masks, wash your hands.
Wet. Bye, Vince. Okay, bye, Sean.
Bye, Sean. He's waving.
Bye-bye.
Wait. I don't want to exit. Leave.
C'est dur, hein, cet exercice-là. Désolée si on n'a pas